Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate, the Wednesday edition of the show. We got CFP semifinals Thursday and Friday. We're going to get to all that. We're also got, some questions, some facts, big Van on campus, a lot to get to here. But first and foremost, let's say what's up to Van Lathan in the bucket hat. Van, what's going on, man?
What is up, guys? College football, Ringer Tailgate, the number one college football show in the world is back.
Yeah, it's back and better than ever. And we got Joel Anderson in the place to be as well. Joel, you got an army. They're very fired up for you. Yeah.
That's what's up. You know I'm a G. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, what a turn it was, from what we saw at the start of the year, Joel. A lot of people coming at your neck, calling you a hater, and now you're just the most beloved character in the world, So shout out to you.
It's a big year, man. Yeah, this is a big year for all of us, man. I'm excited,
I honestly think that the ascension of Joel is probably, in my opinion, one of the most important narratives and storylines from this college football season.
Me too.
Stop
This last pod that we did, Joel's entire, it just all came together, man.
Yeah.
We love it when a plan comes together. Tate, what movie is that from?
A-Team.
That's the fuck I'm talking about.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's cook.
All right, look at
I
us,
even
man.
like the remake of the A-Team. You know what I mean?
I
know
love the remake of the A-Team.
Yeah, a lot of people hated on it. I was like, this is pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah,
I thought
me
it was
too.
great.
Mm-hmm. All right, glad we're on the same page. Let's get it going. Let's talk about the A teams in college football because we got some 4 teams here that are all trying to put their plans together to get a win. One big prediction, CFP semifinals. We'll talk about the games in particular, but predictions for what we expect to see. Joel, I'll go to you first here because you're the one, the best ability is what ability when you're talking about the predictions for the CFP semifinals?
Availability?
No, you put stability.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my bad.
Joel, hold on.
Joel, he's back.
Joel, what the fuck is up, bro? Joel, like, what's
I didn't know what was happening.
Joel, are you gonna?
Oh man,
early. This is
I thought we
early
set him up.
by the Dukes.
Please.
Joel, what's going on with you today?
We have a
dog.
We have an
Are you
answer.
prepared for the show?
I told you that I didn't have a lot of energy. Oh man, I didn't even have my glasses on, bro.
You don't have your glasses on.
I can't
you
even
don't
read
have
the
no
doc.
energy. Did you drink any coffee before the show? We got a
I
job
don't
to do
drink
right
coffee.
now.
I don't like coffee. I drink
Like matcha.
No, you know what I do? I put this. I'm not doing an ad, but this like these little energy boosters. You put it in your
Mio.
water, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mio.
put one of those in your mouth and do it right now. Do the energy booster.
Well, you know what happened is that we got started. Remember before we came on air, and I was like, "Let me go get some water real quick." Well, I didn't get to dress up my water like I normally like to. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing.
Boost.
I'm dressing it up right now.
I hope all the tailgate listeners right now are dressing up their waters as well as we get prepared. But yes, Joel, your big prediction was stability. That's why I set you up there. Okay.
Stability. Thanks for doing that, Tate. So anyway, there's a reason that people can't really do part-time work as a college football coach because inevitably you have to give something more of your time and your energy and attention, right? So like you remember when Nick Saban sent Lane Kiffin home the week of the national championship game because he was like,
taking other jobs.
yeah, man, I don't think you're doing a great job of balancing doing my job that I need you to do and the one you're trying to do in Florida. And so when I look at what's going on in both of these semis, at Oregon, Will Stein and Tosh Lupor have been trying to work their jobs for the past month or so. The portal is open right now, right? So they've got to keep that roster, recruit to that roster, and I've got to come up with a game plan for the national semi. If you were Tosh Lupor or Will Stein, what would you dedicate most of your energy to? Like you have to make choices.
The job where you're the top guy.
Yeah, right? And so I just have to think, and I mean, I'm sure that they're doing the best that they can. This is a lot of work. This is still probably for either one of them the pinnacle of their careers. But eventually, a human mind and body can only do but so much. I mean, half of Ole Miss's staff is looking ahead to putting together that roster in Baton Rouge. And at a certain point, you figure that's got to catch up when you're playing against a team that's as or more talented than you, and they've got continuity on their staff. So that's what I think is going to come into play this week. I mean, again, and I kind of think about it as a player, right? When you go back, the one thing that you want going into a game is you just want to know where everything is. You want the same voice speaking to you. You want to use the same terminology. You try to go through the same routine. Everybody, like that's why you go
little superstitious, yeah.
all
Yeah,
that
of course.
stuff. Yeah,
Process matters.
you want that stuff to matter. And so I just think that eventually that's got to catch up against you when you're playing against another great team this weekend.
So what you're talking about in that sense then is that the teams that have clear advantages would be Indiana and Miami.
Indiana and Miami. So I think those are going to be the winners this weekend.
Indiana and Miami. I think a lot of people are probably leaning that way. Mine is the unknown here. The unknowns of these games are interesting to me. How far has Oregon come since their first matchup with Indiana? Has Oregon learned anything about themselves? Is Oregon even playing at a level right now? They had a dynamite performance by one of their freshman defenders in the last game, and that really brought them to life defensively. That fantastic. That's a game of a lifetime. What was the kid's name? Somebody looked at the kid's name for me. I forgot his name. And then Ole Miss and Miami, it continues. These are two teams that for different reasons are facing off to establish national identity. That's what it means for Ole Miss and Miami. Not that we don't know what Ole Miss football is. Not that we don't know what Miami football is. But right now, in the current era of college football, what Ole Miss football is and what Miami football is, it's up in the air. And they get a chance to go out on the field and prove it. So to me, a lot of this stuff is about establishing reputation, establishing new legacy. But I think it's going to come down, like Joel said, to the team that has the most continuity and the most culture. Those are the teams that are going to be successful this week.
Brandon Finney was the name of the defensive back.
Finney, that's right.
Yeah.
Game
True
of a
freshman.
time for you, Mr. Finney.
Freshman.
Mr. Finney had interceptions. Mr. Finney was making tackles. Mr. Finney was all over the field. Brandon Finney. Finney.
Do you think Brandon needs to go into total? Wait, Will Head, what are you saying?
No, that's a 1965 college.
Give it like George Feeney, Mr. Feeney.
Finney.
You know? Mr. Finney.
Finney.
It's like a sitcom teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the answers, Mr. Finney.
Mr. Finney. Yeah. Mr. Finney, what's up? You at the Peach Pit today. Why are you here so early?
Oh, the Peach Pit. Do you know what show that's from, Tate?
Peach Pit, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. Tate, do you feel like it's up to you to be able to like name stuff, great things, and pass whiteness?
No.
And let me tell you why I ask. Right now, if somebody was to ask me, what's the name of the family that was moving on up in the 70s, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Jeffersons.
There you go.
Okay. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm starting to understand about you, Tate, is that you know that more than you would know who was hanging out at the Peach Pit and at what show they were hanging out at the Peach Pit, like on. What's the show? See, what I'm starting to learn about you is when I ask you who your favorite rock band is, you don't have an answer.
I gave you an answer. I gave you an answer.
But when I ask you what's your favorite track off TM 101, you have an answer. So you know who was moving on up, but you don't know who used to hang out at the Peach Pit and why.
Is it Happy Days?
And what show?
Man.
Nah, I ain't no motherfucking Happy Days. No, it's not Happy Days. It's funny. I'm not gonna give you the answer. I'm gonna make you work for it. You find out what show that was definitely
I'm gonna Google it.
A phenom where the kids hung out at the Peach Pit.
Well, you know what Van, I actually had to do too, is I wanted to make sure, because what was the name of the place that they hung out, Saved by the Bell?
I didn't watch. I don't
That was
care.
the Max.
90210. Is that's
Saved
what they're
by the
saying?
Bell
The
was
Peach Pit.
Max. They hung out at.
See,
the
I watched
Max.
Saved by the Bell. I like Saved by
Max
the Bell.
was the one, and then the Peach Pit was for 90210. It was the Max on Saved by the Bell. Max was the guy who ran that bitch. Used to come do magic tricks for them.
That's right, magic tricks.
Yeah, he was.
I know
hanging out
Tori
doing
Spelling
magic
like
tricks.
as like a crash out character, but I didn't watch the show.
Right.
I didn't watch the show necessarily.
Shannon Doherty,
but
isn't that her
you
name?
knew enough. R.I.P. Shannon Doherty, man.
Yeah. See,
RIP. See, Peach Pit shit. What the fuck I'm talking about. All right.
it's like I didn't watch Dallas, but I know JR got shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
J.R. Ewing.
Yeah.
Who was his brother? Who was his brother?
I didn't watch the show. I just know JR got shot.
Bobby Ewing.
Okay,
Bobby
Bobby.
Ewing.
I know
That's
Patrick
right.
Ewing.
See, look at that. Look at that.
Is that the theme song?
That's the
It
theme
was.
song to Dallas. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about college football.
I think the show that I know the best of like the white TV shows is definitely Andy Griffith's show. Like that's
Yeah,
You have to go. I mean, that is some essence level shit.
But that's like
right
North
there.
Carolina. Andy Griffith is Mr. North Carolina. That's the
That's
reason
the
why.
essence. That's like
I mean, you really, yeah, man. Damn.
I'm just saying. That's the one to know.
that's the essence right there. That's
Oh,
some Tar Heels.
man.
They were some Tar Heels, bro. They were some real Tar Heels back then.
Oh man, good times. Let's get it going. Here's my big prediction: Nick Saban's going to try to steal the spotlight, and I got a fact for you guys. You're going to hear it a lot. All 4 head coaches in the CFP semifinals will be former Nick Saban assistants at Alabama. Obviously, a lot of conversation about this, and I feel like we're going to hear this a million times. Nick Saban's going to be asked about it a million times. He's going to give us these little insights that aren't really insights, about these coaches, because again, these are guys that were working for him at a very, small capacity for the most part. But I did want to ask, Van, you're looking at me sideways right now. Which coach of the 4 do you think that Nick Saban would be rooting for if he had rooting interest? Obviously, Alabama's out of the equation now, so now he can pick one of the 4 coaches. Which one does he want to see win
That's a
the
good question.
CFP?
I don't know why, but I feel like for some reason it's Signetti. Because
I feel the opposite.
So I think he
tell you-
hates Signetti.
I think he's
think
scared
that-
of Signetti.
I think that he is a little bit, but I think Signetti represents most the brand of Alabama football
That's true.
that Nick Saban used to put on the field. So Lanning and Golden, like these guys are younger guys. Golden and Lanning, these guys are younger guys. I don't think that Mario Cristobal and Nick Saban, I don't think that he cares much, but I think that Signetti represents the continuation of the Alabama brand of discipline, nastiness, and execution.
Yeah, I mean, Cristobal was there for what, 4 years, and it's easy. One thing you come to find out to learn as a football player is that coaches love offensive linemen. They love freshmen and they love offensive linemen because they're just big, smart, happy dogs. They want to make people happy. They give of themselves to the franchise. Yeah, man. Just I'm saying they just. They want to. They are the head of your football team. If you have a good offensive line, you have a good football team. It's like hard to have a bad football team with a bad offensive line. You got to have a good one. And so I think that he's inclined to like an offensive guy like that in the way that they play defense. So I would maybe say Cristobal, but the thing is that only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like he hates Signetti enough that I don't think he wants to succeed. Like, there's just a little bit of you could tell there's a little bit of a thaw there. And, Lanning and, old boy, the other one?
Coach Golding, Pete Golding.
Yeah, Pete Golding. Yeah, Peach Golding. Yeah.
Peach Golding.
Peach Golden. Golden Peach.
Hanging at the Peach Pit with old Coach Golding.
Okay, man. No, bro. I told first of all, I told y'all I was tired when I came on today, and then I do have a story. I'm working on a story that's going to be on the website. I haven't had a chance to have.
Billy
my water
said the
yet,
water's
man.
not kicking in
I
yet.
haven't had a chance to get my water yet.
Yeah, take a sip. Take a
Sip
sip.
of the water.
Yeah, come on.
We can't continue like this.
And it's also funny because, Joel's, mispronunciations have been a storyline all season. I did not think Pete could be mispronounced until he said Peach Golding. So that was pretty good.
Peach Golding. But no, I mean, I don't think. I mean, I covered Alabama in the championship one of the years that Pete Golding was the defensive coordinator, and I don't know. I mean, he wasn't one of his better ones. I mean, man, Nick Saban's coached for a long time. There are a lot of people that have worked under him. I mean, it goes back almost 30, over 30 years. So, I mean, just think about it. All the coworkers you've had, 14, 15 years ago, there's not necessarily a connection between you. Y'all worked together once and whatever. And all these other guys have had to sort of develop their own identity. So to your point, Tate, it's just weird. It's not weird but Nick Saban had all the money in the world. Only so many people could get a former head coach to come work for him, right? Like, that's just something that most other coaches can't do. So they're not going to be able to build up that kind of a coaching tree because Nick Saban had a bunch of advantages, could hire whoever he wanted, and he was unthreatened enough, and coaches were desirous enough to go work for him that he could just he could stockpile guys. And so that's how you end up with, a connection to Dan Lanning or whatever. So, yeah, I actually don't think, to your point, Tate, I bet Nick Saban is just like, but if I was at Alabama, we wouldn't have lost like that. You know what I'm saying? He was like,
He's kind of alluded as much.
We've gotten your shit. See?
You don't think that it's meaningful to coach that long and build up that type of tree? The reason why I say that is because two things have to happen. Number one, you have to have sustained success to be at a school for that long, right?
Oh, sure.
To build that type of multi-generational tree. Because Lanning and Golden are young guys.
Yeah.
The other two guys are older dudes. Cristobal's in his 50s, and Cignetti's in his 60s, right?
Yeah.
Different guys coaching for a long time. So he has different generations of a coaching tree. Then something else has to happen that people don't talk about as much with Nick Saban. I guess they do talk about it, but we haven't talked about it yet here, is that Alabama becomes a place where you can go to rehabilitate your career.
Right.
So Alabama becomes a place where the process is so sterling that you can go there, and if you coach there and you have success there, then it makes you a formerly unhireable person, or a at least cold person. It makes you hireable again. And that expands his coaching tree. And that is legitimately an entire industry basically bending the knee to Nick Saban and saying, I know that I've been a head coach here. If you're talking about Sarkisian, or if you're talking about Kiffin, but
Bill O'Brien.
Mike
talking about those
Loxley,
like,
Maryland.
you're talking
own.
about guys like that. I have to come and study under you so that you wash me of my coaching sins and send me back out there anew. And the guys that have done that, it has worked for them.
I mean,
Go ahead, my bad.
no, I was gonna say we don't. I mean, I think you're right because the one thing about Bama, man, is that like if you've hired a Saban assistant, you probably have done okay. Like even Bill O'Brien, right? Like he's okay head coach, right? And it clearly shows that there is something to learn from Nick Saban, right? That they actually do get something about how to run a program and how to maintain. A really good football team from working under there. I mean, it's not like, unfortunately, like your boy Belichick, man, where it's just like, well,
calm down.
Brian Daboll,
Saban got everything from Belichick.
Eric
He said as
Mangini,
much. Come on.
Josh McDaniels, Matt
He's the
Patricia.
second. He got it all passed down to him.
I made a joke about Matt Patricia being the Michigan head coach. I was like, maybe I should go get Matt Patricia, try to weaken your rival. And they were like, hell no. And I was like, why do they hate Matt Patricia so much? I was like, oh, yeah, he was maybe one of the worst Lions coaches.
He was with the Lions, yeah.
Yeah, so they don't want to see him there again. Gerard Mayo, Joe Judge. I just, again, I think what that means to me is that Belichick, a lot of his success could be accorded to Tom Brady. Nick Saban has had to win with a bunch of different guys over and over and over again. Matt Mock,
AJ McCarron.
Greg Eltenberg, Greg McElroy.
Greg McElroy.
Yeah,
McElroy's great on the call, by the way. Just
Jake
want to give him a
Coker's
shout out.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
McElroy's doing a great job.
He's really good, man. Texas
So you're saying that Saban is a better coach than Belichick in your
Yeah.
I tell you what, if I was going to start a football team and I had to pick, ain't no question that I would want Nick Saban. I would
College or pro?
Both.
So if you were starting a football
both.
team in the fucking NFL,
It's
and
gotta
you
be
had to pick
Belichick in the
between
NFL.
Bill
Come on.
Belichick and Nick Saban, you would choose Nick Saban.
What do you think an NFL team would do right today? Like if they had to pick, do you think that they would try to sell bringing in Bill Belichick, or would they try to sell bringing in Nick Saban?
Answer the question and what we talking about.
I just told you, man.
Like what?
I told you. You make it-
what? I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about at the height of their coaching.
Don't
right
include
now,
Jordan in the equation.
At the height of their
but
coaching,
Jordan is in the equation.
do you think? Do you
her out.
think that you would take Bill Belichick? You would take Nick Saban to coach in the NFL over Bill Belichick? You would.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Bill Belichick bringing Tom?
Take, baby.
Is Bill Belichick bringing Tom
Billy
Brady?
said that Joe needs to drink more water with this take. Yeah.
That's a take right there.
Is Bill Belichick bringing Tom Brady with him? That's if he's bringing Tom Brady, then yeah, I would prefer to have Bill Belichick over Nick Saban. But if I had to just start up, the thing with Nick Saban is that he was not a bad NFL coach. He was just an okay coach, and that's because he chose Dante Culpepper over Drew Brees.
Now,
If Drew Brees doesn't
something
fail
else.
his physical,
Yeah.
it may be different.
But
right?
can I make an observation there?
But then Drew Brees he'd be a Drew Brees merchant instead of a Tom Brady merchant, right?
Right, exactly the same thing. So it's like whatever. Can I make a distinction there? A deal there? Like a little observation. So here's the observation when we talk about these two coaches. A lot of people talk about the fact that Bill Belichick rode on Tom Brady's coattails. First of all, that's not true. That's the first thing. The first thing is the first couple of championships that they had, they were a defense-oriented team
Yep.
Tom Brady had to come in and be a steady hand. Not saying that he didn't put up some numbers, but that team was oriented around the defense, and it was real heavy on Belichick's football knowledge, stuff that he was able to get out of guys like Troy Brown and, other guys like that, right?
Yeah.
So
A
that's
Teddy
the first
Bruschi merchant, yeah.
Teddy Bruschi merchant, all of these guys that they were able, all of that stuff they were able to. So that's the first thing. Secondly, even the decision to have Tom Brady play at QB for you is a hell of a coaching decision when Tom Brady has to take over for Drew Bledsoe at that time. Drew Bledsoe, who had a reputation and all type of pelts on the wall from being a Super Bowl quarterback himself. So that decision to say, hey, this young 7th-round pick out of Michigan, 7th round, 6th round, whatever it is, pick out of Michigan, this is going to be the guy that is going to take my franchise where I need to go. And then for that to end up happening and working out, winning a Super Bowl is one of the most outstanding coaching decisions that's ever made. We're not talking about injury. I mean, there were injuries involved and all of that stuff, but we're talking about somebody saying, this is the guy that we're going with. Belichick made that decision. A lot of coaches might not have made that decision. Now, by the time we get to the end of it and they change the offense and, Tom Brady becomes Super Tom and all of that stuff, you can start to say that a lot of that stuff Tom Brady kind of manifested because he was just a fucking sick-ass QB.
Yeah.
But while he was getting there, it was process, defense, and ball control by the Patriots that, at least through those first championships that got Tom Brady there.
Richard Seymour, Ty Law.
He's going to
Ty
go
Law.
down as maybe, and probably should, the greatest defensive mind in the history of football. And potentially, I mean, like, if you want to say he's the greatest NFL head coach of all time, I will not disagree. But that, to me, that doesn't necessarily mean you were the best. Like, sometimes it's also circumstantial. I mean, y'all saying that,
So who would be the best? Bill Walsh or Bill Parcells? Like, who would
Bill
be?
Walsh, yeah. I mean, I really like, I think Bill Walsh did all right. But I mean, again,
Joe Montana.
yeah, but I mean, Joe Montana was a
That's
third
what I'm
round
saying.
pick. Joe Montana was a 3rd-round pick. I mean, but again, I know the Tom Brady thing. But here's the
He's fucking have Joe. He's got Joe. He's got
Well,
Jerry
here's the-
Rice.
Okay, look, hold on. I didn't get a chance to workshop the Bill Walsh take. He
It's
just threw
okay.
his name out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I was
like,
just
okay,
throwing
shit.
names out because if it's
Yeah.
not Belichick, it's
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
Walsh.
I'm just saying that I think that, like, if you say that Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time, I'm not going to dispute it. But I also am, like, willing to look at the context and say, all right, what did these other guys do in these other circumstances? And I got to hear it on a case-by-case basis. But any fair, reasonable, smart, educated person on football would have to say that Bill Belichick is up there. Like, there's not many people that have impacted the game more than him. Yeah. But you're asking me,
But you'd
right
still
now,
take Saban over
I would
him.
take
Still
Nick Saban over him.
in the
Yeah.
pros, in the
Again,
pros.
he didn't win with the. Okay, yeah, he had the guts to pick Brady and put him out there. All right, I'm hearing all these people saying they made Hove. Well, go make another Hove. Okay, go make another Hove, Belichick. Gio Lopez. Matt, he did do all right with Matt Castle. You know what I'm saying? Gio Lopez. Yeah, man, make him another hoe.
Yeah. I wonder,
I made Hov for like 20 years. We won 6 Super Bowls. I ain't really got to make another. You know what I'm saying? But I feel you, though.
Well, you need to make another hoe for me to not want to take Nick Saban over you.
Right, because what you're talking about is Saban was able to do it with a bunch of different QBs. Yeah, that makes I think it's different, but I understand the point. I think it's different. I understand the point.
Yeah.
Here's my rankings of who Saban's rooting for. Cristobal, number 1, because Cristobal's his guy. He said he talks to him the most, right? Number 2, Pete Golding, because I think he hates Lane Kiffin deep down. And I think if Lane Kiffin watches his team win a national championship without him, I think, one, he likes Golding, but, it's more about just sticking it to Lane Kiffin. Number 3, I'm kind of with you. I bumped Signetti up. I'll put Signetti at 3 because I think it is kind of mirrored image of what he did at Alabama. And then I think it's landing at 4 because he's just like, yeah, this guy was a GA. I barely remembered his name, but he gets a lot of mileage off saying he was a Nick Saban guy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
I think that's the power rankings if I'm Nick Saban.
Can I ask y'all? So y'all think Nick Saban hates Lane Kiffin? Wouldn't that be really sad? Because Lane Kiffin, when he was going through his turmoil. When he was going through his turmoil, he was like, well, man, I'm going to have to go pray to God tonight. I wish my dad was here, but instead I'm going to call Pete Carroll and Nick Saban, my two mentors. Can you imagine if that's the person you had to call and that person actually hated you, though? That's what y'all are saying. That, like, Lane Kiffin is like...
I mean, Bobby Knight hates Coach K, Like, that's his mentor.
You think Coach K called up Bob Knight?
I mean, I think at some point he did, and Bob Knight was like, son of a
some
bitch.
of my life decisions right now.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think that happens more than we think,
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. We resolved that.
I'm just saying that's the Saban. I think it's a fascinating Saban conversation. All right, one big question: which team winning the CFP would be the best storyline? I think this is also fascinating. Everyone's trying to argue what would be the best. Ole Miss obviously is the one that we talked about before. Miami being back would be great. Obviously, Oregon finally gets over the hump and wins a championship. Indiana from the bottom to the top. What a climb that would be. So Van, I'll go to you first. Which team winning the CFP would be the best story?
Obviously, it's Ole Miss, and that sucks. Ole Miss winning the CFP is a fucking Disney movie, man.
Mm-hmm.
That literally is literally a Disney movie. It's literally evil coach chases the bag, leaves for LSU. Team has to rally around itself. The meeting is a big scene in it. Golden comes along. The Charlie Weiss thing. Somebody. There's a scene in the movie where somebody asked Charlie Weiss Jr., Coach, you coaching them or you coaching us?
Ooh.
And then he turns around and he goes, hotty toddy. That's the scene.
That's it. Oh, hotty toddy. Okay.
They coach him to win the game. But in this version, maybe fucking Charlie Weiss doesn't end up going to LSU and Lane Kiffin is like there. Lane Kiffin's the fucking villain. LSU is the villain. We all of a sudden have become the big fucking institution that has all the money and all the swag and all this stuff like that, and we stole their coach. That is by far the best story to me. The second best story is Indiana, which is also a Disney movie.
Yeah, Hoosiers football.
If Indiana wins right now, they should remake Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
They should remake Hoosiers, but not about the tight shorts with the white guys, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Chiclet, what's his name?
Jimmy
Chiclet.
Jimmy Chitwood.
Chitwood. Okay.
Jimmy Chitwood.
I got you with that white movie reference.
There you go. I appreciate you. Jimmy Chitwood. They should remake it, and they should have Kyle Chandler play Kurt Signetti.
Oh,
right? Bring back the fucking Friday Night Lights vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Hoosiers.
How long have you been thinking of this? This is really smart.
The 2-year story that ends up where they end up going to a national championship. A new Hoosiers. Actually, Hoosiers 2.
Yeah.
Just call it Hoosiers 2.
It's in the same cinematic universe.
About the football team this time, they would have 2 all-time sports movies.
Yo, you know what you could do? You could call it Hoosiers 2 to build on the Hoosiers brand, but basically, you're making Junction Boys 2 as well.
Junction
Boys 2. You making Junction Boys 2. You getting them boys, at the beginning of the season, they're getting out there. It's all them. It's just us. It's just us out here. And we're going to make a team. And if you can't handle it, buddy, get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the halftime speech when he's like, Purdue sucks, but so does Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah,
you have that whole moment with Assembly Hall going crazy.
I will say this. There's one team that nobody cares if they win a national championship. And that is Oregon.
Yeah.
Nobody, man, shout out to Oregon. Oregon is I love the program. I've always had fun, even when LSU tortured Oregon, right? I've always had fun watching Oregon, watching the way Oregon plays football, watching the old Chip Kelly Oregon teams, the uniforms, everything going on up there in Autzen, should I say. But this is 1 year right now where Miami has a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana has a great story. Ole Miss has the best story, and Oregon has no story.
Yeah.
They are a placeholder right now in the college football playoffs, which gives me a sneaking suspicion that they're going to have more success than people think that they might.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Well, what does Oregon football done to inspire you to care? You know what I mean? Because now we're 30 years into this thing, right? Like when they
Well, they
went to
created
the Rose
uniform
Bowl.
culture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's their.
Well, when they were great in 1994 and went to the Rose Bowl, and then like in the early, the 2000s to the early 2010s, it was like, okay,
Joey Harrington.
the Chip Kelly of it all, the Michael James, who was
Dennis
my boy?
Dixon,
Dennis Dixon, man.
Yeah,
Dennis
he was
Dixon.
sick.
I saw him get his knee on
Marcus
that Thursday night
Mariota,
game.
Dennis Dixon. What about Jeremiah Masoli?
Jeremiah
These
Masoli.
fucking guys, man. What's the kid's name? The Black
Vernon?
Mamba. Was the Black Mamba? The
Vernon
kid from
Adams, too,
Compton?
huh?
Nah.
Oh man, the fast kid,
DeAnthony
Thomas.
Anthony Thomas. Like
D'Anthony Thomas.
Oregon has some guys, man.
Yeah,
Oregon
man.
was the shit.
But do you I don't think that this is gonna sound like a sad and weird thing to say. I don't think of Oregon as part of the legendary moments of college football. Like even the championship game they played in when they lost on a field goal at the end of the game by Auburn, it was just kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? I don't I just feel like Oregon inspires within most of college football. Okay, cool. Like there's not a lot of enemies.
They got one classic moment.
What's that?
When LeGarrette Blunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what a
Falcon
punch. Boise
dog.
State.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that was
Boise
awesome.
State.
Boy.
Hey man, shout out to whoever that guy is from Boise State.
Byron
I bet
Hout.
you learned a life lesson that day. Get out
Byron
of
Hout.
motherfucker face. LeGarrette Blunt put hands on him, and then Scott Frost was trying to hold him back. That was a legendary moment. That was a legendary moment in Oregon football history.
Oh man, they still making that guy talk about this shit, man. They
Who, the
still
guy that got punched by LeGarrette Blunt?
Byron Hout. He's 35 years old. He works. He's a coach at Idaho State, a defensive flex coach. Oh man, here's a Reddit summary from the Idaho Statesman about it, just right here. Hout wouldn't know a racist remark if he was being tortured in order to say one.
Shit, nah, we can't do it like that.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about that one, Doug.
You doing too much, bro.
That's
You can't do it
man.
like
That's
that.
come on, man.
But I disagree with your assessment of Oregon in college football. I think they've been one of the more relevant, noteworthy college football programs since 2000.
21st century, for sure.
I mean, they're absolutely relevant.
What
but,
about
in terms
Ahmad
of
Rashad?
passion,
We forgot about Ahmad Rashad. That's a good one.
Okay, yeah.
What was Ahmad called back then? Lenny Moore?
Bobby
Bobby
Moore.
I
I think Bobby Moore. Yeah.
Bobby Moore. Okay.
But like I think that for fans in Autzen and for the Oregon Ducks football culture, if they were to win a national championship this year, it would feel like the culmination of a lot of incremental movement.
It would
by the
legitimize
program.
everything.
Yeah, it
Yep.
would legitimize them as well. It would be a huge, huge deal. I'm just not sure if it would be that huge of a deal outside of Autzen. Outside, this is what I led with that. Like, you know what I mean? But with all these other teams winning, they're huge national stories if they win a national championship.
Yeah. That's basically all I was saying. That Oregon is
Yeah.
just kind of like look, when you've got Miami, you've got a team that has a crazy fan base. They inspire a lot of enmity within people. They've got the culture that thrives down there. With Ole Miss, you've got both we were a long-time doormat in the SEC because we were really not down with the desegregation shit, and also just it's the rebels. You know what I mean? Like people just not gonna be excited about that. they got to battle with that, so people are gonna feel one way about it. And Indiana is a great story, as we mentioned. With Oregon, it's like they've been a really good football program for a long time. It'd be if they win a national championship, cool. But there's just not a lot of passion. There's history to be made with all these other stories. And those other teams represent something. So I don't know that Oregon, represents anything in particular.
Well, they represent Nike. That's the other, I'm a big brand guy. So, the underlying part of this Final Four matchup is that it's Adidas versus Nike in both games. Indiana, Adidas, yes, going up against Oregon, who is the face of Nike. And then you got Ole Miss, Nike versus Miami, Adidas. So, this is Adidas versus Nike in both games. And if you don't know, before NIL was a thing, the people that were funding all these players for the most part was Nike, Adidas, Under Armour. That was the underbelly of college sports. That's who was paying a lot of this money on the grassroots. So these brands matter, and Nike and Adidas executives that all sit up there in Beaverton and they're right next to each other up in Portland. They're watching this very closely right now because that's very important too.
Nike's run by a TCU guy, by the way.
There you go.
A TCU alum. Elliott Hill.
That's a national championship. So
Hang the banner.
I mean, again, we know more about it than LSU.
Hang the banner for it. That's a national championship. Y'all won one. So look, in these matchups, Oregon versus Indiana, Ole Miss versus Miami, what units are we looking at? What are the strengths? Are we looking at the Miami defensive line and how they're able to affect Trinidad Chambliss? Obviously, that's going to be a story. Whether or not Charlie Weiss Jr. can scheme something up to negate what Ruben Bain and those guys are going to be able to do, that kind of would be what Lane's function would be if he were still there right now. Let's figure out a way to slow down the rush and be able to move the ball, not just through Chambliss, throwing the ball a bunch of times, but generate a running game, maybe get the quarterback out in some situations where he can make some plays with his feet. Then in the other game, Oregon just against the boa constrictor that is Indiana football. Will Oregon be able to mount a rushing attack against Indiana? And will Oregon be able to score the ball against them as they have not really been able to do or did not do in the last game that they played against Texas Tech?
That's Tate's job.
What's my job?
I just had to say it. I don't know. I came to mind. I was like, damn, Van doing Tate's job, man.
I was just asking a question. I'm sorry, Tate.
No, I think I was excited to hear Joel's answer.
Joel,
wait, this is
drink
funny.
your
I just had
fucking
to
drink, bro, because you this is another one. Are you high? This is another one where
high.
you just drink your drink, bro.
Drink your
Do we have to
meow.
get the Duke in here? Drink,
No, we don't.
Drink,
We don't need the Duke in here at all.
Here he comes. Just
Drink
like
your
that.
drink. Duke, did you think that was a fair question to ask about the actual games right there?
It was a good question, man. I just was like, damn, that's Tate's job, man.
I'm sorry, Tate. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I wasn't concerned at all. I was excited to hear the answer.
I
had an answer myself. I was
waiting.
About it.
You Tate should have given his answer first.
Duke,
What's going on, Joel? You're a little dehydrated. You were tired.
I am dehydrated. I'm tired.
Didn't know your glasses were off for like 10 minutes for some reason.
Could you see us, Joel?
Yeah.
See? Joel, can you see without your glasses? Or you like Thomas J from My Girl?
No, man. I've got great vision, man.
You're like Dwayne
Obviously
Wade.
not, nigga.
fake
You wear glasses.
I used to. I guess is what I'm saying. But I
Right,
mean, this is
so
like.
what do you-
Well, okay, look, it's a recent development. When I went to the eye doctor a couple years ago, he was like, "Man, you've got really good vision for your age." But he's like, "Eventually, it's probably gonna fall off a cliff for you here pretty quickly in the next couple."
So
of
you
years.
just preemptively did it?
Well, no, I mean it was just like my vision had slipped a little bit, and it's still pretty good for my age. Yeah. What are we doing? What has happened?
You derailed the
That's
show
what we're
by
trying
not
to figure
answering
out.
the question about the
All right,
units that
you
we
want me
were
to talk
talking
about the unit?
Pause.
All right, let me talk.
Yeah, like you derailed the show. Can we talk about the actual football?
Yeah, okay, I'm back to it now. All right. So the issue is this: how will Trinidad Chambliss hold up under pressure? Like, he hasn't really been pressured that much this year. My guys at the PFF podcast, man, they a lot of good info there. He was the second least pressured QB in college football this year, Trinidad Chambliss.
But a lot of that scheme, though.
A lot of that scheme, and a lot of and he getting the ball out, all that.
Getting
other
the ball
sort of
out
stuff.
quick is the way Lane calls the plays.
Right.
Well, the way the plays are called, they do it together.
So that's the thing. But like, do you think he'll be able to live through this game and not feel Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor on his back? Like, I just don't. It's possible. Like, they may come up with ways to make them tired because those guys play like all game too, and they're working hard all game long. So maybe Ole Miss has something schemed up to tire those guys out, get the ball out fast, so he's not as affected and he can keep his keep up those numbers as one of the least pressured quarterbacks in the country. So that's what I'm curious to see how like Trinidad Chambliss does when the pressure inevitably gets to him, because that's something that he hasn't really faced a lot of this year. And as we saw Julian saying, he didn't look great under that pressure, man. And those dudes. That might be, it's just a throwback to those old school Miami defensive lines, man. Like Warren Sapp was tearing shit up. Or Cortez Kennedy was there, man. Like I was like, damn, these guys are totally controlling this game. So, yeah, can Trinidad Chambliss shake that off? I don't know.
If you're thinking about Miami, you might be able to, Miami doesn't need to dial up pressures to get pressure.
Right.
So you really might be able to cut down on any of the explosive plays, particularly some of the explosive plays that we saw late in the Georgia game, right? In the Georgia game, we saw Kirby Smart say, fuck it, I'm going to play press man a little bit. He played the press man. They did not get home, and Chambliss was able to beat him, right? In this type of situation, I just don't think that if you give those boys time to rush, that the line is going to be able to hold up. Maybe they can. Maybe they can. But Miami, because of the pass rush, does not have to take many chances on the backside of the defense in order to, manipulate the quarterback and make them do what they want them to do.
Yeah, you heard Kirby. He said no free access plays, but they had a lot of free access throws, and that's because they weren't able to get pressure with their front four. But this front four is a little bit different, so they're going to be able to get pressure and be able to match up on the outside. And they're also, we've seen it. They've thrown different looks. They had Sayan completely fooled when he threw that pick six. He did not, you know what I mean? Like that's the sort of stuff too, where they're showing different fronts.
What a beautiful play that was.
Yeah, great play. And I feel like that's going to be the difference for Chambliss to be able to kind of fight through that. I do think it's a big deal that Lacey and Chambliss have committed for next year. Like now all the noise is kind of away too. So I think, talk about stability that Joel brought up before. I think that's good for Ole Miss, but I don't know if they've seen a D-line like Miami has, which is going to be interesting to see how much pressure they can get on them.
I don't think anybody really in college football has seen it except for the people who have played Miami. You just got to go back. I'm going to go back and watch a couple of those games.
ACC.
There you go. I'm going to go back and watch a couple of those games that Miami lost and see like how teams were able to get away from that because, man, not to harp on Ohio State. We had talked up Ohio State the entire year because Ohio State just has names that jump off the page at you. And they were under duress, man.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything with those guys.
Couldn't run the ball neither,
Couldn't run the ball either. So there's not a lot of reason to think that the Ole Miss offensive line will be able to hold up. But, you come up with different things. It's a very creative, should I say, offensive intelligentsia there. Maybe they can.
Yeah,
well, Miami's losses, right? The Louisville loss, he throws 4 picks, Carson Beck.
Course,
so,
yeah,
in a game where, Miami plays a game where they have limited possessions anyway. So if you give the ball away, that's really going to come back to be punitive in the end. And then the SMU game was the same thing. They had limited possessions. They had some weird missed field goal, conversation that happens. And then all of a sudden that games get out of hand and they end up losing in overtime. So like both those games came down to their own game plan kind of backfiring against them because they didn't play a clean football game. So they were explainable losses.
SMU did
in
have
both
some
cases.
success offensively.
Yeah, Kevin Jennings is kind of like, I would rather have Trinidad Chambliss and Kevin Jennings, and he had some success against Miami. So,
but Marcel Reed didn't, But I think Chambliss has a better
pass.
I was going to say, but Chambliss has a better deep ball, and Stribbler's been a better kind of creating an option for him once he scrambles, getting downfield and being available. So I think that's the other part. It's like if Miami doesn't get home, can Miami secondary hold up on the back end and make sure that some of those big time plays don't happen? Because that's what they really did to Georgia.
Yeah, I feel like they've got a really good secondary. Bryce Fitzgerald, Keontae Scott, those guys back there. I feel like they're pretty solid back there. And so, I don't know. Like, Ole Miss went through the whole SEC season, and I think this is going to be the best defense they're going to face all year. They haven't seen anything like what Miami's going to throw out there at them. Also, the thing about Miami that's interesting on offense is that, like, they just want to fight, man. Like, they're just going to, we're going to, like, in this 10-yard box, like, this is where the whole game is going to happen. Because if you think about Miami, what big plays have they had during the playoffs? Have they busted it? Their most explosive plays have been long Mark Fletcher runs, but they haven't really hit anything downfield.
Mark Fletcher has runs, and Tony had on special teams. On teams, he had a big return, right?
Yeah, but like offensively, like they don't create a lot of that, and you see that they're doing a lot less with Carson Beck. Like they just say, I'm sure they go to him and be like, "Don't turn the ball over, man." Like just.
But I will say this though, the O-line grinds on people.
Yep.
By the time the fourth quarter comes, that's when Fletcher really starts ripping off some of those runs. I mean, he had a great first half a couple of games ago, but he starts ripping off those runs because that offensive line just leans on you. And then they always need one big nut-dropping drive at the end of the game to seal a game. And when they go into it and start handing the ball off, they're able to do it. It was one thing to be able to do it against A&M, but the way that they did it against Ohio State was really impressive to me. I'm looking back at this game. This game was a Kevin Jennings masterclass, basically. 365 yards through the air. A lot of it to Jordan Hudson.
Former TCU recruit.
To Jordan Hudson. Yeah, he found success somewhere else. To Jordan Hudson. A lot of it was to him. You look around. Jennings was throwing the ball around a lot because on the ground, they rushed the ball 25 times for 23 yards.
Yeah, man.
A 0.9 yard average there. So Miami was able to control them. They did rush for 2 touchdowns, but Miami was able to control the rushing game, but Jennings just beat him. Like Tate said last podcast, beat him.
Yeah, I just kind of thought, that they would be able to do a little bit more than that. Like I was like Bo Jackson, I think he at that point he crossed the 1,000-yard mark. Like they'd shown the capacity to be able to run the ball, and then it's like, oh, Miami just cut that out. So I don't know. I just we'll see how it all goes, but that Miami defense is turning out to be special. And now the Louisville and SMU of it is just like, oh, that's just like. These are very long seasons. They have to travel a lot further than they used to. You got to get up and get, you know what I mean? So like you can, those two losses in retrospect are a little bit more understandable. And now it seems like, all right, they're back in their,
and they were playing tight in those games, right? Now they're playing kind of loose, and obviously they have nothing to lose. And that's what I'm fascinated as well. This is the first time they won't be the underdog in the game. And I think that actually plays in the favor of Ole Miss a little bit too, because they have that chip on their shoulder. And that's what's been kind of fueling Miami. So that's fascinating.
Tate, to you, what do you think is better, tight or loose? I'm asking. Because some people say that tight. Some people say that tight.
I love connotations, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm saying
like say something's tight. Like,
Answer the question,
tight, you know?
Well,
I think things that I like it tight, you know? Like,
some people say that, tight is restricting, but some people say that tight is better. But then some people say that you could do more with loose because, you know what I mean? They're different requirements.
I think keep it loose, what
do you think is better? What do you think
don't
is
play
better?
tight, keep it loose, That's sort of the vibe.
Yeah, Tate's a G. That's what Billy said. Hey,
you know Tate.
That's
Tate's a G. The other game's a rematch, Tate.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's just do the preview while we're doing this right now, because this is fascinating. Todd McShay put out his mock draft, and these are going to be the number 1 and number 2 picks, apparently. Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. I feel like that's not talked about enough, that we're going to have the number 1 and number 2 picks facing off in the CFP semifinal in this game. We've seen this game before. It's a redux, so maybe that's the reason why. There's a little bit of hesitation when it comes to being excited about this game. But just looking at the line in Vegas, when they played at Autzen in Oregon was favored by 5.5. Now on a neutral site, it's 3.5 in favor of Indiana. That's how much they flipped the script this season as far as belief from Vegas's vantage point. So Indiana is the favorite in this game. Mendoza looked great. And what we learned from watching the tape was he was getting these different looks from Bama, right? They're showing, a cover 2 look, and then they're dropping out of it or whatever it may be. And he was reading it in real time, seeing what they were going to do, and then throwing just beautiful balls down the field and just trying to ice the game as much as he could, which is a credit to Fernando Mendoza. So let's talk about the quarterback matchup. Joe, I'll go to you first here. Mendoza, Moore, what do you expect to see? Obviously, they don't play each other because this is football, but they're going to be going head-to-head in this one.
Yeah, I hate to be a hater in this way because they're both really good college quarterbacks, but if you had to pick between them or Trinidad Chambliss, who would you take first this week? If you had to play a game this week, who would you rather have?
Mendoza.
Really? You'd rather have Mendoza over Chambliss?
He should. Yeah, he should. He is. I have started to buy in. I believe. Okay. I don't know about number 1 pick. I saw Bo Monty did a great job kind of explaining, why he thought he was, not necessarily the number 1 pick based on the tools. Yeah. But I don't know, just mentality and him being able to dissect things at the line of scrimmage. I think it's really special. So I'll go Mendoza.
Yeah, same thing. Mendoza to me. Mendoza, steady hand, doesn't make the big mistake, and it just seems like you're going to win more games with a guy like that at quarterback, especially with the way these teams are constructed.
For sure. Well, so here's the thing. I think that all of these are great quarterbacks. I just think that like Trinidad Chambliss offers a little more, and with Mendoza, it's like if you can get him off his spots, you can make him move a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult for him. He's not a great athlete. He's a good quarterback, solid athlete, but not a great.
He's got great footwork though in the pocket. Like some of these, and
he makes timely runs, first down runs. He's not dynamic in that regard, but he's certainly not a statue.
Well, the thing about it, what I've forgotten about that Oregon-Indiana game is that Oregon made life hell on Mendoza. Like, he did not have a great game. It was one of his worst games of the year. He threw a pick 6 in that game.
Yep.
And so,
early.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Indiana was able to like offset it with a strong rushing attack. Like, Oregon kind of held them down. They only averaged like 3 yards a carry in that game, which is why I think Indiana is going to win, even though it's hard to beat a good, motivated team twice. Because I was like, oh, Indiana went on the road, played one of their worst games of the year, and still won by 2 scores. And so, like, now I feel like they're a better team. They've got more
confident team
more
for sure.
More confident team. Now they are missing Stephen Daly, their best pass rusher, but like that did not bother.
Didn't matter against Bama. Yeah, right.
And so I'm just thinking like this seems like okay, they can do it this time. It won't be the same deal. Yeah.
Also, you know, Indiana sacked Moore 6 times.
Oh yeah, he had more in hell too. Yeah.
Yeah, Moore was in hell. They threw the ball for 186 yards. They rushed it for under 100 yards. They couldn't move the ball on the ground, couldn't really move the ball through the air. They were able to score 20 points. One of them was off the pick six, like you say. It was a game in a place that's very tough to play. Mm-hmm. And Indiana played the type of methodical, grinded out game that you have got to play to leave there with a victory if you're not going to, like, you know, go up there and have a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase-esque offensive explosion. If you're not going to do that to them, or TCU, Josh Hoover.
No, you might Max
Jordan
Dugan
Dwyer,
Max Dugan
Max
and QJ.
or like
Quentin Johnson
like
played in
There
the
you
national
go.
championship game, something LSU's
you're not
not
gonna have
done
that type
more
of
recently than
offensive explosion,
TCU, right?
They were able to play. I mean, you know, Oregon was 3 of 14 on third down in that game. Just having all types of problems, right?
Yeah.
Just having a lot of different issues. Plus, they threw 2 picks. So, look, I don't know how much has changed. I don't know what could have changed. Oregon's kind of flew under the radar since that game, but in my estimation, a lot is going to had to change for them to beat Indiana.
You said it last week, Van. You said Oregon did not look good, even though they shut out Texas Tech, right?
Yeah.
Oregon has had it's not like every time they've played a good defense this year, they've struggled. Like they just have. And I got to think.
And Penn State looks like a good defense. So I mean, even though they weren't a great team, they did have a really good defense.
They had a great defense then, and they were still a good defense as the season fell apart around them. So yeah, we still haven't seen Oregon have like a great day against a good defense yet. And so given how poorly Indiana played the last time and still won on the road, I just got to think that they're going to win. And then here's the thing. Again, we talked about this. When we talk about Indiana, if Indiana had that Bama, the numbers on the side of the helmet or something, we'd be like, oh yeah, this has been the best team all year. They're number one. They should win this game. But because it's Indiana, we're still like, I don't know, man. Oregon might be.
You like that? You can't see with your glasses. You like that? I didn't. I'm not saying.
Wait, you don't wear glasses? Wait, Van, you don't have glasses?
I don't have glasses at all.
You can afford an optometrist. What's wrong?
My vision is great.
He's got great vision. Sees
I
it all.
I doubt you should go to a doctor to confirm that because you're talking shit right now. But you're 45?
45 years old.
Oh yeah, your vision's bad. Yeah,
my vision is fucking
you don't
fine.
know.
Like if my vision is
Can
fine.
you drive great at night? Are you good at driving at night?
I'm
Or
great at
rainstorm?
driving at night. Like I'm great at just because you got glaucoma. Don't
Don't
put
that on me.
Wait a second. My shit is fine.
That's all right. You're just treating it.
Yeah, my vision is fine. Is solid. It's fine. I'm doing good. Don't you tell me. So when did you first start to know that your shit was going out of whack? What happened?
I told you. I was with my grandmother's funeral in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, a couple years ago, and I was with my mom in the car. We were going to dinner in Little Rock, and I just was like, damn. I just was like, I couldn't catch the lines on the road. I was like, what? And it was raining and everything. And then I did not. You don't know what astigmatism is until like you actually experience. Then the eye doctor told me, he was like, you see how those lights are and why they're not supposed to look like that. I was like, oh shit, for real? I didn't know that it wasn't supposed to be like that. And so that was really it. It was a couple years ago, and then I went and got the optometrist, man. And then I met Mohammed from Real World outside my optometry there.
That's cool.
Nice.
With his son.
Small world.
His 18-year-old son who had just come back from USC. Shout out.
There you go, Mohammed from the Real World.
Well, that's a better story than what I thought. You said it earlier that Billy said, how's his vision?
Well, you know why Mohammed came to mind? Because I was walking around. When you walk out of the optometrist, they give you those little glasses, the little black glasses, so the sun doesn't affect
your eyes
too
are
much.
dilated.
Yeah, your eyes are dilated. So I'm walking around, and he's like, this guy says, "Hey, nice glasses, man." And I was like, "Is he talking to me?" And then I looked at him. I was like, this
So,
motherfucker look
227
famous.
Situation.
I was-
He said, "You wrestle."
Tate, man, what are you doing, man?
Do you know for a fact?
Billy, why are you even here? Why are you here? I looked up and Billy's here. Why are you here?
First, you were blind going to the doctor. Second, your eyes were dilated. Are you sure that's Muhammad from real
Probably
life?
wasn't
No. I know. Look, man, we exchanged
18-year-old son.
numbers, man, and it's funny because he was just like,
What?
listen to the story. So it's outside of a pizza people in Palo Alto would know. It's a town and country village. My
Man.
optometrist is there. Come back, man. What are you doing? What is he doing, man?
Oh man.
So you
Y'all
just
wanna
say,
hear the
"Hey,
story or
what's
not?
up,
I want to
Muhammad?"
hear the story. We're listening.
You wanna hear the
Dan's
story how I got
listening.
Muhammad's
He's got his headphones on.
I have another real world story too. Actually, man, I've had 3 run-ins with real world characters.
All right, one at a time, and then we'll rank them at the end.
Okay,
wanna
we'll
hear
do a
it?
start bench cut of.
So you want to start bench cut of my
of your real world
of my
encounters.
real world stories? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. Here we go. So Muhammad says, "Hey, stop it, man."
How many Y's when he said, "Hey"?
The homophobia in here. Somebody's gonna speak up. Somebody's gonna speak up one day, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, those guys are anti-woke over there," you know.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So
Oh my God.
the Muhammad story. Yes. So anyway, he's like, yeah, like nice glasses, and I was like, that's all right. So anyway, I look at him. He's like, oh, okay, and then he's like, yeah, we don't see too many brothers here in Palo Alto, which is true. Like, there's just not very, it's like 1% in Palo Alto. So just a handful of us. And so he's just like, yeah, what do you do here? And he's like, yeah, I work over at Stanford and such, and my son is back in town for this and this. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I've lived here for almost 10 years. I live not too far from here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, cool. And so we exchanged numbers, and as he said his name was Muhammad, but he didn't say anything else. And I was like, this motherfucker look familiar, bro. I gotta look him up. So anyway, I looked him up online. I was like, oh shit, man. That was Muhammad from the 3rd season of Real World, man.
San Francisco.
Season with Pedro and them and Puck.
Pedro Zamora.
Was that the 2nd season or 3rd season?
The 2nd season.
It was
Oh, no,
the
the
second.
3rd
Yeah.
season. It was New York, L.A., and then San
San
Francisco.
Francisco. That's right. Judd, Pam, all of them. Yeah, man. So anyway, so that's the first story. The second. Do you really want to go through these two?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first one. We get 2 more.
All right. So
Great for me.
before we were going to have
Did you ever reach out to him, or that
Man,
was
bro.
the end of
So
that?
I know. You know what happened? I texted him. He did not text me back for like a month and a half.
Fake
and then when he
number.
texted me back, I was getting ready to move. So I was just like, well, "There's no need." And I mean, I'm about to move. So anyway, the second one is that when we were looking for a doula for our firstborn, Desmond, my therapist had recommended this like collective of doulas in the Bay Area, right? And so I'm just calling random numbers. I'm trying to who's available.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think we need the rest of the story.
Okay.
What's
well-
story 3?
Wait, okay, no, hold on. That person was Coral from.
Oh, I like Coral.
Hold on, wait. Now
Coral's a doula?
that's an interesting story. Now that one I can get into.
Oh, you want to hear the rest of it?
I want to hear the rest of it, and I want to hear about Coral for sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, so
That's a killer right there.
I looked it up. I looked up Coral. And I
Great
didn't
on
know
the
who it was.
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So anyway, so she hits me up, and we had a very good phone conversation. I was like, all right, well, I gotta put you in touch with my wife, but like maybe we can make something work. Well, just because my wife is the one that's really gonna have to deal with the doula.
Right.
He's like,
Right? I mean, it's just kind of weird, but I wanted to take on the emotional work of looking up a doula. So anyway, I'm still trying to think. So I look, and so my wife, she talked to my wife, and we were like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, you know what? We ain't even done a Google search. We had this woman. We're gonna invite her to look in on our kid, and we don't know shit about this person. Let me look her up. And so I looked her up, and I put Coral in East Bay, and I started looking at the pictures. I was like, she looked familiar. It was fucking Coral from that season. Was it Miami?
I can't remember. Let
think
me ask
she
you a
was-
question. Why are you stalking
She did a
the people
bunch.
from
She
the
went.
real
I
world?
think she went back to New York. She did a bunch.
Why are you stalking people from
No,
the real
bro,
world?
it was just crazy. I guess there's a lot of them that live in the Bay Area or whatever. But like, Coral did not end up being our doula, by the way. It didn't work
Yeah,
out.
your wife was probably a little intimidated. She's like, get
No,
Coral out of here.
no. She was fine. We were gonna do it. The thing
She's
is,
like, Joel, how do you keep getting numbers from the real world?
I just,
Yeah.
it
Every
is kind
time
of
I send
crazy.
you out.
It is kind of crazy. And the last one was
She has a Yelp, by the way. Doula Coral.
doula.
Oh,
Coral.
let me see.
That's cool.
Let's look up Coral real quick. Let's bring a Coral on the show.
1 star.
Yeah, I got a number. Yeah. Well, look, I don't even want to say it, but yeah. Do you want me to tell you the third one?
Yes,
Fuck it,
yes.
now we here now.
Okay, so when I was doing the slow burn season of Biggie and Pac, of course I had to call in Kevin Powell to come in to our studio to interview, and he was very difficult to talk with. He's a good brother, very powerful, but I think the one thing I learned about the Tupac and Biggie thing is that it scarred a lot of people, man. It's like really damaged a lot of people and hurt them in ways that I hadn't even really considered. And so it was.
He was
tough.
first season, right?
He was first season. Him arguing outside with Julie.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Kevin Powell. So at first I thought, why is Kevin Powell texting me all this shit? But he mass texts people, so I get mass texts from Kevin Powell every now and again. All right.
All right. There you go.
Y'all want to rank them? Yeah, I thought y'all were gonna rank them.
No.
I'm starting Muhammad. Yeah, that was
Muhammad.
the best. Yeah,
Cut.
Coral. Yeah, Coral. I
Cut-
bench. Yeah.
Bench Coral.
Yeah.
Cut Kevin
Cut
Powell.
Kevin. Yeah,
Okay.
Kevin's cut.
Yeah.
I'd look for another real world member if I were you to find, like maybe slip into the number 2 slot there, because 2 and 3 were kind of bad stories.
It wasn't.
They were
as
bad
good.
stories, really.
Coral was pretty good because of
The surprise.
it was a lot of shadiness around what was going on initially. But then,
No.
there was. But that's
No
okay.
shadiness. That's
It
fine.
was-
This
it-
wasn't.
it-
No
there definitely
shadiness.
was.
No,
There was, but that's okay.
No, that's okay. No, not me. Nah, bro. I mean, no, I didn't even know what she looked like. That was the thing. And then I was like, oh shit, that's Coral from the real world. And then I told Janae, I was straight up with her. I was like, look, this is Coral from the real world. I did not do this on purpose. I swear, I did not. Like it was. And we intended to hire her and expected her to show up.
Do you have a white whale in like the real world? Well, like a Moby Dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do you want to meet?
Who do you want to meet in the real world? Like, is it Trishelle from Vegas? Like, who's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trishelle. She from. I think she from Louisiana.
Is she really?
She's a good one.
Is.
She from
I remember
Cutoff,
her.
Yeah.
Man,
From
I mean,
Cutoff.
there's so many, bro. David
Obviously,
from
Johnny
New Orleans.
Bananas is our coworker, or was at one time, so he's around.
you mean
Johnny
by that?
Bananas. Didn't he have a show here, Johnny Bananas?
On the Ringer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I never knew that. I don't know.
I certainly didn't.
I think he did. I mean, he was on Bill's show, and I used to
Well,
do Bill's show.
we have another call. Kyle is great. Kyle the man.
Yeah,
Kyle Brandt.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Kyle the man. Kyle's great. The real worlders are around. We see him. I saw one. I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him around. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna tell.
Yeah, what were you about to say? You felt like you had somewhere you wanted to go. All right, go ahead now. Since you, would you say the thing you wanted to say about who was it? You met Irulan or something?
CT.
CT.
I met Adam from the real world. You guys remember Adam from the real world?
Yeah. I don't remember Adam. What
Adam.
season is he from? What? I think I know him from the challenge.
I
You know,
can't
that's the
tell
thing.
the story because I already
Okay.
talked to him about it. I'll tell you guys. This is not for the show. I met him at Puff's house.
We have spent a lot of time on Real World, by the way.
We have. We're probably not going to
Well,
use it.
we did our CFP matchups. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got overreactions of the week. We got Big Van on campus. And we got just some quick hitter news because there's a lot happening in college football, a lot of movements. Transfer portal was open. We'll be right back after the break. Ringer Tailgate is brought to you by FanDuel. The field is down to the Final Four, and every play now decides who moves on. The college football semifinals are here with just 2 massive game days left before the championship. FanDuel is giving you something extra. That's right. All customers get a profit boost each college playoff semifinal game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. I like, Carson Beck, anytime touchdown, plus 650. I'm going to take that in the semifinals. I think he's going to run the ball a little bit. So visit FanDuel.com/tailgate to get your college playoff profit boost today. Must be 21 or older in present and select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com sportshelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back. Ringer Tailgate. Overreaction of the week. We all watched Texas Tech in the playoff, and they had no offense. It was anemic. It was abysmal. It was many things that you could call it, but they needed a quarterback for the future, and they went out and spent $5 million on a new quarterback. And that quarterback is former Cincinnati quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. And if you went to New York this weekend and you were in Times Square, you saw the big billboard of Brendan Sorsby welcoming him to Texas Tech. And we got a nice quote here. There is obviously the big booster there, who is Cody Campbell is his name. And this was a quote from Cody Campbell. He said, quote, "He just called me," talking about Sorsby, "and he called Patrick Mahomes to tell us he's coming to win a national championship." So overreaction of the week. Texas Tech said they needed a quarterback, and they spent a lot of money for it. Van, when you saw this news, do you think Brendan Sorsby is the guy that can get Texas Tech to the national championship?
It matters, and it also doesn't matter.
Okay.
Something happened to me earlier this year. I was driving along in my car. My car was a 2010 Honda Accord Cross Tour. I was driving along in my car, and white smoke started to come out of the hood of the car. I was on the 10 freeway in L.A. Pulled off to the side of the freeway. Car rolled down, got to the street. Car's dead. She had been with me for a long, long time. The Honda, it's like got about 200,000 miles on it. Completely paid off. Had been with me for a long time. So I needed to buy a new car. When I bought a new car this time, I bought a car with a different intention. The intention that I bought the car with wasn't just to get from point A to point B. I'm in a completely different situation in my life now than I was when I bought the Cross Tour. When I bought the Cross Tour, it was the most expensive purchase I had ever made before in my life. It was literally one of the first new cars that I ever bought, right? But this time, I wanted a car that I didn't have to park in the back, a car that I could ride around in town, and a car that people would expect me to get out of.
Oh.
And so I bought something that was a little bit nicer. Okay.
There you go.
What you riding there?
Mercedes GLE 50.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah, and so I brought something that was a little bit nicer, right?
Damn. Okay.
This is what Texas Tech did with Brendan Sorsby.
Wow.
He is their Mercedes. Texas Tech wants something that not just will win football games, but this announcement, along with this billboard, is Texas Tech saying to everyone else that we are going to buy enough shiny things not only to win games, but to be taken seriously as a national football power. This was the number one portal quarterback, depending on who you listen to. Some people might say Sam Levitt. Some people might say it's really nobody else. But this guy was the number one guy. So this matters from the football perspective, right? It matters. It's going to be an upgraded quarterback for them, I guess. But it matters even more from the standpoint of we're showing everyone right now how we rolling, how we coming, how we riding, everything that we got going on. And we're going to put it on a billboard in Times Square so when you guys see our quarterback, you know that Texas Tech is for real, Texas Tech is serious, and this is a different Texas Tech than you've known before.
Yeah. I mean, they did all that, and they still signed 7 defensive linemen or ends.
They're going crazy.
Sure. Right. So they feel like we've got a model, like we like building through that defense, right? And then now what we were missing was the ability to threaten the offense in any way whatsoever. So now we've got somebody where we don't have to necessarily get a running back. They're going to get a running back, and they've got some a receiver in the portal or whatever. But they're just like maybe somebody that can make offense happen, even if there's not as much out there around him. Get him a good line, and he'll be okay. So obviously that's the plan and what they think is going to happen. But you also know what it helps to have if you're Texas Tech and you want to land one of the top portal quarterbacks. It helps if his girlfriend is on the volleyball team there, which is what is going there. So, hey, man, I don't know. Carson Beck, that's why he was in Miami. That's not the only reason. But remember, he went down there behind one of them Cavender twins. So, I don't know why somebody in Cincinnati and somebody who had been in Indiana would have been dating somebody who's at Texas Tech. I don't know how kids move no more. The internet probably has opened up the whole world to them. But I'm sure that did not hurt when they were trying to make a recruitment as well.
Yeah,
well, they
11th
meet
best
outside
QBR in
eye
the
doctor
country.
and exchange numbers.
But how often? See, this is what I'm talking about because you're gonna make fun. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and y'all are gonna have to accept it, bro. People like me when I come around. Okay,
That's facts.
Yeah, that's facts. And
We
so,
love you,
like
Joel.
so people,
yeah,
right. And so so people, it's just like, okay, that guy seems like a decent brother. I always used to say I had friendly on my forehead when I was coming up, because people just want to start talking to me, dog.
What'd you have
That's
on your forehead?
Friendly.
Okay.
They started knocking on 227.
Come on, man. What is a tutu?
Nobody ever came up to me and was like, "Yo, you want to wrestle?" That never. You're right. It looks like that's facts.
I mean, I don't understand why y'all trying. I'm talking about an expression of like this is like physicality, like dominance. Fighting and shit. What are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Van, how did you end up bleeding on the campus at LSU if you weren't tussling?
Look.
Go ahead and say it. Don't
Fights
just say
happen.
it.
Shit
Say
happens.
it.
Shit happens. I'm saying.
You've been talking about shedding blood on the LSU campus the whole time, this whole season. Tell the story of how you ended up shedding blood. Okay, Billy, I don't need any water. I'm almost going to be out. Okay, he's saying that. All right. But go ahead, Van. Tell us the story of how you shed blood.
I'll save it. I don't want to. We gotta talk about Brendan Sorsby. I shouldn't have thrown the joke in there. It was wrong. We can't get off track.
Okay.
We can't get off track. But yeah, a lot of things, and this set off a domino effect. Sorsby goes to Texas Tech. Sam Levitt comes to LSU. That doesn't work out.
On a visit.
On a visit.
Yeah.
Weird situation. Thank you, Tate. Like he comes to LSU on a visit. They basically, from what I know, offered him, thought they had it wrapped all the way up and it was going to happen. It doesn't happen. Sam Levitt then is able to leave Baton Rouge. Then it seems as if the Washington quarterback, Harris, is now flirting with the idea of coming to Baton Rouge after he had already agreed to a new deal with Washington. So there were ramifications for Brendan Sorsby not going somewhere else and ending up at Texas Tech all throughout college football.
Yeah, so this was, you mentioned the domino effect. Sorsby goes to LSU. They actually leaked the offer. I think it was Ross Dellinger that leaked what he was offered, which was $3.5 million, a whole lot of, kind of legal jargon that was involved, the expectation, things like that. He goes to Texas Tech, and it was a lot less of that and a lot more money. So he says, hey, I'll sign on here, and then LSU is now scrambling to figure out who their quarterback of the future is going to be because Trinidad Chambliss, based on the timeline, he's going to stay at Ole Miss. And then Damon Williams, who you mentioned, Washington quarterback, he had already re-signed a contract, and apparently Washington plans to, this is all reported right now by Ross Dellinger, so here it is. Washington plans to pursue legal avenues to enforce Williams' contract after he signed what the university is calling, quote, a legally binding revenue share contract. Williams agreed to a new deal with the Huskies 4 days ago before announcing today he will enter the transfer portal. The university has been in contact with the Big Ten. So Lane was trying to do this a little bit under the radar. Obviously, to get Williams into the portal. Now we have a legal situation, and it seems like somebody's going to be getting paid money, and it's probably going to end up being Washington for damages. This is the first of its kind, as far as I know. Joel, you're smiling, you're laughing. At
Why
this.
Why is LSU so messy, man? Why is Lane? I don't know. Why can't
Lane loves the
Kiffin
headlines.
just do regular shit? I don't
He's
understand.
a headline hunter.
There's a lot of quarterbacks out there. I mean, I didn't even. Maybe he sees something in Damon Williams Jr. that I mean, he's a highly rated quarterback in the portal, but I don't think anybody thought he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the portal, right? But maybe Lane Kiffin sees something. But it's like, why is he so messy? It just feels like I don't understand why there just can't be regular shit going on in Baton Rouge or regular shit going on around Lane Kiffin. But that just is the way he moves. But yeah, I mean, Damon Williams cannot go back to Washington. Like, that's it.
That's for sure.
Yeah, like that's it. So somebody.
Well, I mean, maybe Washington wants him to come back, and then it was a weird. I saw Jed Fish's wife. I mean, this is kind of fodder. She had commented, basically being like, the players were at her funeral when they found out the news. So that is messy in and of itself. There, and again, he had just signed or re-signed 4 days ago. So it's a very strange situation. Also, Sam Levitt's situation is strange because now you got Arizona State people coming out, and they're saying that he got hurt playing basketball and that he got kicked off the team.
Damn.
And that's why he wasn't, welcome back at Arizona State. And now he was apparently already in a no contact or non-contact situation to go to Kentucky. Kentucky now has signed another guy who was supposed to go to Nebraska. So it's just messy. The whole portal situation is insane. And then when you look at some of these other situations, Josh Hoover, for example, just, he opts out and says he's going to go to the portal, and he just signs with Indiana in the middle of this chaos. That's a smooth transition. Rocco Becht, who was at Iowa State, follows his coach to Penn State, right? There's some easy situations. Byron Brown goes to Auburn. That's an easy situation. But this is all very confusing.
I would also like to offer in Demond Williams Jr.'s defense. He did sign a contract for reportedly signed a contract for $4 million a few days ago, right? Man, reportedly LSU offered him $6 million. I know that those just look like numbers, right? Like $4 million and $6 million seem like they're kind of close, but like they offered him literally 50% more money, man. Like they offered him $2 million more dollars. So that's a lot of money.
And in a state with less taxation, right, Joel?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other part of this is like if he gets $4 million, or let's say he gets $4 million in Washington State, he's getting really $2 million. If he gets $6 million in Louisiana, he's getting $4 million.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's getting straight up the number.
That's why I'm just like, I mean, I get that he made a commitment and it's tough to go, but man, sometimes like the money is such that you have to make decisions, grown-up decisions. And I'm sure that was an uncomfortable call he had to make. But if you
didn't
offer
call.
me...
He just posted.
He just posted it, yeah. I mean, the transfer portal.
Hey, man, you offer me $6 million, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm not saying that it doesn't absolve you of everything, but obviously something is weird on there, right? Like, again, I would not expect the coach's wife to feel comfortable airing that out right there in case you ever wanted to repair that relationship. It just seems like something is amiss there. And like, that's why he
can't play there now, right?
Yeah, they know he's gone.
Oh, he's
so,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah,
but why do that? Why say it out loud? You know?
He can't play there now.
Why comment? Yeah.
It's a situation where he has to go. There's just too much animus built up between him and everybody over there now, so it's got to get out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, Lane stole a coach from South Carolina, right? We had that whole Beamer situation where Shane Beamer comes out and he's like, he's not basically playing by the unwritten rules, which is like when you're going to try to get another coach, you call the head coach to say, hey, we want to interview this guy. So Lane is not playing by anybody's rules other than Lane Kiffin's rules. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. So
it's awkward. It's awkward
Yes.
being the villains of college football.
the actual villains. Like Brian Kelly was a villain, but he was like trying to play the nice guy.
LSU football is cool. It's a team that people can root for when they don't have their own team.
Right.
Play with a lot of swagger. Set a lot of trends in college football.
I wouldn't.
And we do.
Trends.
You ever heard of the Gritty?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes.
You ever heard of the Gritty before?
The guys
Get
that
the
played
get,
at LSU
get the
did it.
get.
They're the ones that still do it.
Joe, can I ask you a question? You think anybody from TCU ever did the Gritty before?
I don't think.
Let's look it up.
You want to see if somebody from TCU
Let's
did
see,
the Gritty?
let's see.
Oh, okay, you're gonna get a video of one person doing it. Do you think the
Let's
Gritty
see if somebody from TCU did the Gritty.
It was
I
Sunny
mean,
Dogs.
so is your contention is that the Gritty swept the nation? It's one of the biggest moves. It moved culture.
Yes!
Right? That's what it did. Okay,
What?
The Gritty.
It absolutely did.
Oh,
No,
okay.
am I
Okay.
tripping?
Yeah, I mean, it had some moments, but I mean, you're acting like it was raising the roof or something. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. It wasn't. No, hold on now. But the Gritty definitely had. Am I tripping? Or am I? Okay, I could be wrong. Never.
What was the Gangnam style? You think it was? You talking about it like it was
Oh,
Gangnam style?
Joel,
or some shit like that?
what?
Is that
Joel,
right? Is that what it's called?
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam
But
Style,
still,
right.
there's no. That is not. I think you're more like the Gritty would be like in the Dougie territory, not the
Okay, yeah,
Gangnam
the
Style.
Dougie. Yeah, you're talking like the Gritty was the Dougie.
The Gritty was a big deal, particularly in sports. A gigantic deal. And
So,
all I'm
yeah.
saying is, it originated from Louisiana. The LSU guys popularized it. I'm saying the LSU guys have set some trends. That's all I'm saying. All right, it's cool. You don't want to believe it. You don't think it's true. It's cool.
No, I mean, I said it did.
The point,
it did,
the
a
point
lot of
is,
people did the Gritty
the
for a
point
little bit.
is that now we are looked at it as a little bit different. We are the villains of college football, and I am getting used to that.
I'm getting used to it too. It's very
who's
strange.
the most villainized, non like disturbing allegations division head college football coach? Like who's the one who's been the most villainized?
Take a drink of the water.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So
Hey, when you called Damon Williams Harris
I
about
apologize.
5 minutes ago, nobody said anything.
I did.
Nobody
just
said it.
corrected it,
I was
you
going
know?
to say something, but I was like, we've moved too far
Williams,
past
Harris,
it.
Damon Harris, whatever. I apologize. Just take a drink of the water because we want to get the thought. Okay. So what were you saying?
I already said it. It's out there. Do y'all have a response?
I forgot what you said. I'm not gonna bullshit you.
You said which coach without harrowing allegations is kind of the most like villainized coach.
Yeah,
I mean, Lane.
football coach.
Yeah, Lane is definitely
Meyer?
the right answer. I mean, Urban.
Ooh, that's
Urban Meyer's way up there. Urban Meyer never really had like those types of
a good
concrete allegations, but Urban Meyer had a gigantic health crisis to get him to leave Florida, and then Ohio State calls. And
He's ready to go.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling better.
He had the girl on his lap in the
the girl on
bar.
his lap.
He was
Yeah.
having a good time.
Like he was doing his thing. So it's like
He said,
the
"You know I'm a G."
You know I'm a G. Urban Meyer, you know I'm a G. So Urban Meyer was having the whole deal. I guess I would say without allegations, that's a guy that I would put in that category.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing about Urban Meyer though is not the thing that makes Lane distinctive is that his colleagues feel comfortable firing off on him in a way that you don't tend to say. They tend to see in the past. Like people may have not been as big of fans as Urban Meyer, but with Lane, it's like even the enmity rises to the level of his counterparts in the field. Like all his peers,
Shane Beamer is in his conference going to see him at media days, and he's still willing to call him out and be like, "Yeah, this guy doesn't play by the rules."
They used to be able to cheat in quiet. Like there was
Yeah.
an unspoken agreement in the SEC in particular about like, hey man, we're not going to talk about how everybody ended up with these charges. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going. Let's not talk about how your family ended up moving from this place to this place and living there while you were in school. We don't have to talk about that. And it was like cool, but like this is like, oh okay, it's Lane Kiffin. Let me tell you why I don't like that motherfucker. It's just it seems like people are excited to do that.
Which means whatever quarterback does come to play for Lane Kiffin has a lot of pressure inherently on them, which I think is the reason why maybe a Sam Levitt is saying to himself, I don't know if I want to go into this situation because, boy, is that a lot of pressure. But we'll see. Chambliss obviously is committed to Ole Miss if he gets his waiver. So that conversation is now kind of done. As far as the other quarterbacks that are still out there, DJ Lagway, he visited Florida State, and then all of a sudden, Florida State gets a new quarterback because apparently they lowballed him. So Auburn transfer Ashton Daniels commits to Florida State. Ole Miss transfer Austin Simmons, which felt like a guy that if you don't get Chambliss, maybe Lane goes after Simmons. He's going to Missouri now. So again, there's a lot of moving parts in the world of quarterbacks, but there's two names that are out there. One in particular I wanted to ask you guys about because Texas Tech is now gone. Dylan Raiola, Joel, you mentioned this off air. Where is he going? Obviously not back to Nebraska, but no one's talking about him.
So was it the case that they were talking about him maybe going to one of the schools in California, like Cal or something like that? No, not Cal, because they've already got JKS.
They got JKS, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think what I heard something along those lines, and it kind of surprised me that he was considering going out there. I don't know, but the one thing I think with Dylan Raiola is he healthy, right? They want to see if he's healthy, and that kid went to a different, and I normally don't go after kids for this. Like I think that at a certain point when you're doing this, it becomes business and you've got to follow like what it takes to get to the top of your field. But he went to a different school every year, man, and it's just like, when is he ever going to be settled? When is he ever going to be part of a culture change? And it's just like, you bring him in and it's like, well, is that the guy that I want to throw $3 million at and build a program around? And I think that makes it a little bit tougher for him right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it. I think the Dylan Raiola experiment has lost a lot of steam.
Mm-hmm.
I think the experiment he desperately needs to go to a place where he can focus on football and just putting up the numbers and putting together the tape that he needs. He's kind of in a DJU territory right now where he came in very highly touted. The football never was outstanding. It hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been outstanding or culture changing what people would have thought that it was. And he also gets on people's fucking nerves. So He's got he does. He gets on people's fucking nerves. Now, I'm not saying it's fair.
Is it the Mahomes stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean that's odd, right? That whole thing is odd. It's an odd thing. It's an off-putting thing. People are not sure about it. It's odd. So he gets on people's nerves. So he'll have to go to a place to where he can show people just how much he can ball. But he's going to need a pass-happy offense and some stability, the ability to win some games and be showcased as well.
He's a sixth ranked quarterback right now in the portal. The fifth ranked guy is DJ Lagway. Is there any world where DJ Lagway just kind of falls into the lap of Lane Kiffin? That's how I feel like this might go. You know, like he's going around, he's asking for $5 million. Apparently FSU offered him around $3 million. LSU's offering, it looks like $3.5 million. Maybe that's a situation where he gets like a Nico where he's like, yeah, I got to take the best offer on the table. And I end up playing for Lane Kiffin.
Has Baylor already got? I don't think Baylor has already got a guy yet, too.
Well, he's visiting Baylor. That's okay. One of his.
His pops went to school there. Like they were in on him early. Like that's a real chance for him. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that DJ Lagway has been valued in the way that he has. Because coming into the year, I think a lot of people, including me, thought, oh, that's a guy that contend for Heisman and All-America honors. And if anything, he was hurt last offseason, couldn't work out the way he wanted to, and the season went the way that it did. But, I mean, all the things that we thought about him before then are still true. Strong arm, stand-up kid. He can get the ball down the field. So, not the most athletic guy, but athletic enough. So, I'm kind of surprised that he's still out there, but there's still a lot of time for these things to shake out.
The Tate was fucking terrible. He played terrible all year long.
But he was hurt. And it's not like anybody looked at what was going on at Florida and say, hey, this is a great situation right now. But let me just say one quick thing about this. Man, John Summerall, you better be a good-ass coach, dog. I mean, I'm skeptical of how good he's going to be. Like, I feel like Willie Fritz is the one that built up the Tulane program, and he's right. Every season is a different journey, but he's sort of riding on the fumes of, like, Tulane and its new position in that league. But the way you're talking, the way that they said, the Lagway folks said, you had challenged him and see if he's want to stick out and be here and all that kind of shit. All right, bro, good luck. I'm excited to see the John Summerall era in Florida because I think he's not going to be a very good coach. I'm sure that means that now he'll be the next Kurt Signetti or whatever. But I just, that tough guy shit, I'm just not as excited about that.
They got Philo from Georgia Tech, who was their backup. That was the Florida kid. I think he was like 15th or 16th, somewhere in there. Bo Prabula, also out there from Missouri, who's looking for a team. So another name that LSU could have on the board. So again, a lot of quarterbacks that are out there. Everybody trying to find a home. Deuce Knight from Auburn, who looked good in his one game when he came in, was incredible. So
yeah, man.
Damon Harris Williams is
Damon Harris. I hope his middle name is Harris. That would actually be incredible.
Funny as hell.
Yeah. Also, I just want to, because Ty Simpson declared for the draft today too, right?
Joel.
So there's an opening in Alabama. Right?
Say goodbye.
So he's but Alabama has a kid that they're really excited about.
Yeah, the 5-star from last year, Keelan Russell, I think. Yeah,
Russell. So
Austin Mack. We don't know anything about Austin Mack. I mean, it would have been hard for anybody to look good in the circumstances he played in, right?
I thought he showed some signs, though.
He looked okay. Yeah, man. Guys need to leave. So think of all these people that lost a chance at generational wealth that changed their life. Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller. Like, people always are talking about guys chasing the money and they leave too early and do all this shit. Man, last year those guys were thought of as potential first-round draft picks, or at least go really high in the draft.
Klubnik was number one on McShay's big board to open the season.
Let's talk. I mean, people never circle back with guys like that when coming back goes wrong. And then they've got to play their way back into the NFL now and play into the graces of the scouts. And all those guys really suffered.
How do we know, though, when you say guys need to leave, you're assuming that a change of scenery means that they'll play better and figure it out?
That's right. I mean, I usually tend to think guys know, as long as they're leaving on their own accord, that they know what they need in terms of an awesome fit. Because again, if you're a quarterback at that level, you've already sort of been a business. Because you got to navigate the 7-on-7 worlds, the Elite 11. You're doing the recruiting. You've had an agent. These kids are not normal 17-year-olds. They're a lot more savvy than people give them credit for. And they've got a whole team behind them, and they're like, I want to play for this offensive coordinator with this sort of supporting cast. And that shit is like fluctuates more than it ever has before. So I can understand looking at the lay of the land and being like, I don't know if I want, if you want me to stay, I'm gonna need a little bit more money. You know, I can see how those conversations might go.
I'm not saying that guys don't need to leave or that they should stay or anything like that. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. This is kind of how things are now. But I will say that, like, you know, there is something to be said to continuity in terms of you as a player. Continuity and you being able to kind of grasp what you have going on around you. And what we're starting to see now, I think there were a lot of stories. I mean, you see a lot of transfers, you know, they're winning the Heisman Trophy, and you see a lot of guys like that that are having great times of it in their second and third spots. But you're also starting to see now, as much college ball as I watch, a lot of guys that you go, oh, wait a minute, for real? Like Malachi Nelson or Malik Murphy. You start to see these guys, and like Malik Murphy's playing where he was playing at Oregon State. Malachi Nelson was at UTSA. You're starting to look around and see a lot of guys that are going to different places, and it's not always easy. The grass is not always greener. A lot of them aren't having the success that a Cam Ward had or Jaden Daniels had or some of these other guys had, Fernando Mendoza. It doesn't always end up
Darian
like that.
Mensah.
Yeah, you need the right situation for that to happen. Jackson Arnold now has played his way to UNLV.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that like when you look at going from being a 5-star at Oklahoma, then going to Auburn, and then playing his way all the way to UNLV, that's remarkable, right?
Yeah. Well, my contention is that those guys just weren't as good as we thought they were, which is what we find out all the time. I mean, five-star QBs, like first-round QBs, wash out all the time, and it's for any number of reasons. You know, you could be like a Jamarcus Russell or something like that, you know, not live up to expectations. And you know what I mean? So like,
he didn't wash out in college. In college, he was a fucking dog.
He was a dog, but I'm just saying, like, the comparison is that, like, just kind of like you do in the NFL, is the same thing in college when you identify these 5-star quarterbacks, and it's like you could look at the list of quarterbacks of 5 stars in any year and see that a lot of them end up like Malachi Nelson. Not that Malachi Nelson did anything wrong, but he had to find a level that he could play at and that people wanted him to play at. And like,
I guess what I'm saying is, there is something to be said, and we'd have to look at it. There is something to be said about the continuity of being at a place. Like you think of guys like Jason Campbell from Auburn back in the day that played quarterback for a long time. Then they get to a place and they have they're there, they're comfortable, they have a lot of success at the place that they started. I'm not saying that that's going to happen more often than a guy's going to go find success at a place where they transferred.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is the moment that you start to struggle or have a bad season, thinking that it's going to be better going somewhere else, I don't know that that's a good idea for the majority of the guys that are doing it.
You know what happened to Malik Murphy and Malachi Nelson? To Malik Murphy, they said, if you stay here, you're not going to play.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I mean, so I think like the ideal, everybody goes to a school with the intention of like, I'm going to set up roots here, I'm going to thrive, I'm going to start, and I'm going to go to the NFL. And then like, oh, they bring in somebody else over me, or they don't think I'm as good, or I got injured, or whatever. It doesn't work out. And then it's kind of like, well, if I want to play, if I want to keep up my journey, I'm going to have to go do it somewhere else. You know, I think that I don't think kids are always just like, I wonder how I could get an extra $80,000 out of, you know, Western Kentucky.
Now they are.
Unless you're Damon Harris.
Yeah, like not, but that's cool though. That's cool. Now they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right. But then we have 3 examples of the guys doing what you're talking about, Van, right? Lenore Sellers going back to South Carolina, Bryce Underwood going back to Michigan, Arch Manning going back to Texas, right? So those are the ones that you're talking about. And I do find it funny that Arch Manning makes more money than Drake May, MVP potentially of the NFL.
That's the fuck I'm talking about, bro. We getting to it. What did Uncle Luke say?
Let's talk about it. Big Van on campus. I turn it over to you, Van. This was a nice like portal conversation that kind of leads into this. And Uncle Luke is trying to get people to understand what the portal. There's 2 sides of the portal, I guess is the way to put it. But Van, I turn it over to you. What was Uncle Luke saying, and what do you got to say about what he was saying?
First of all, let's play the sound from Uncle Luke.
Transfer portal. When we're talking about the transfer portal, it's unfair. Don't say that these kids are quitting and running and jumping in the portal when you know y'all are cutting these motherfucking kids? Unlike the NFL, when you get cut from a team and you do not make the 53-man roster, you get put on the taxi squad, you make that 15-player taxi squad, you get cut. They notify the media that this person been cut. Unlike the NCAA.
What the fuck? Very interesting. Like very, very interesting. You don't think about it in those terms. I knew that it was happening, but I didn't think about how much maybe it was happening. And now we know that it is happening. I guess my question is this. Uncle Luke is talking about the fact that these players are getting into the portal, but some of them are actually being released by these schools. Is this fair? Is this par for the course? Is this the game has gotten this cold to where just like a player after a year at a school or 2 years at a school goes, you know what, I think I can go somewhere else and get a bigger bag or get a better situation. Is it fair for a school to come to a kid that they've recruited, talk to their parents, go into their house, do the whole thing, and then say, you know what, we don't need your services anymore. You are being cut and released. Get off the team. Go find a home somewhere else. And I think that there are some people that maybe think that is uncouth. You wrong. You shouldn't do it. However, on the other side, don't really have a problem with the players moving around. And for some reason, it feels wrong to me. Not the players moving around, but to cut a kid after you've brought him to your school and done it feels wrong to me. But is this just the way things are now? And is this part of what goes into being a professional? I'm actually interested. This is Big Van on campus. This is more of Big Us. We're getting together in 227.
Yeah.
So this is more.
We're huddling up.
It doesn't. What dorm room did y'all stay in?
I was like,
what's the deal here, man?
Getting together in 227. More than anything. Well, what do we think about this? Like, it seems wrong, but I guess it's not, right?
I mean, I think that it's fair that as long as the labor arrangements are the way that they are, that, schools can move on if they don't want to pay for a kid to be there anymore. But I think the problem is that the narrative that you hear so much coming from coaches and all the other sycophants and media and everywhere else talking about this is out of control is that they don't think about the idea that a lot of these kids are being made to leave or they're being encouraged to leave because they're like, look, you're not going to play here, man. Yeah. I mean, how do people think that this happens? Like when they hear that Kenny Dillingham or Deion Sanders goes to a new program and they got 70 new players. Like, how do you think you lose enough players to bring in all those new players? You're making people leave. And Deion said it flat out.
Deion said it straight up, yeah.
Yeah, he said straight up, this is what I'm doing. And like,
Belichick mumbled it under his breath. Yeah.
Yeah, Belichick had a whole new roster. And it's like, I don't love that that's the way that it is, but like that is the way that it is. And whenever we can come to some sort of fair revenue sharing agreement and we can come up with a system of labor laws that makes sense, then maybe they can start to offer multi-year scholarships or multi-year deals instead of being a one-to-one thing. But like this is, never forget that the NCAA and college coaches fought against the sort of regulation that would make sense for decades. The only reason they were forced to do any of this is because of court rulings. And so they're going to sit up here and complain, but you guys, everybody told you this day was going to come. You never prepared for it, and that's why we all have to live in this world right now.
They just said as long as it doesn't come while I'm in control, I'm okay. They just wanted to kick the can into the future, and then that day came, and now they're all playing victim, which is kind of expected at this point. But I do feel like Parker Livingstone is the perfect example of what we're talking about, right? Texas comes to him. He's a homegrown Texas kid, Texas fan, Parker was their number one receiver, through 4 weeks of the season. We were joking about him, and they say, hey, we got no spot for you on the future Arch Manning team. He was Arch Manning's roommate. And now he has no spot on the Texas roster, and now he's signing with Oklahoma, which would be sacrilegious for him. But that's just kind of what the portal is now.
Parker trying to get out the mud. Parker said
he's going crazy in the Red River rivalry. Yeah,
Parker. Sure. Parker is going to be doing agility drills with all kinds of. Parker about to see the best Parker we've ever seen before in life. Parker going to be y'all ever see that tape of Andre Johnson and Chad Ochocinco, and they're doing them drills. And
Yeah,
all.
right.
Yeah, it's like
That's about to
Santana
be
Moss.
Parker all summer long. Parker about to be going crazy because that's the kind of thing that this begets. It begets this thing to where now you have this kid who always wanted to be burnt orange over with the Sooners, and we
You created
get
a
that
villain,
storyline.
a monster.
Created a villain, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just before we move on, I just want you all to admit, or at least particularly Van, who accused me of being racist for joking, for accusing me of joking on Parker Livingstone because he wasn't a number one receiver. I mean, Texas just told you that. They told you that. They said it, and don't you think? Actually,
Can I retort?
don't you think they went to Arch and they were like, "Hey, man, we would kind of like it if your boy would move on. Is that okay?" And what do you think Arch said?
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies. Yeah, man, yeah, right. They wouldn't get rid of him if Arch was okay. We go ahead.
He was like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Fuck that shit. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, Parker Livingstone had more touchdown catches this year than Ryan Williams. That you vehemently defended. So I just want to put that in your.
I bet if you put him in the portal and we could see who's ranked high and who gets the most money. Come on, I'm just saying.
Come on, I'm just saying.
No, that's
But
the
because
ability
you know
drills.
what it is with Parker. You
That
know
was
what
just
the ceiling
that was a little tidbit. This is what I'll say about the Parker Livingstone thing to you. That's fair. You were proven correct. I'm wrong on every podcast now. Like I'm like fucking in a sea of wrong this week, I guess. But I will say this. This was during the first game, okay, where we didn't even have a large sample size of Parker Livingstone quite yet. The reason why I said that you made that based upon El Race is because we hadn't really even seen him play. Now, it turned out that you were right, which happens sometimes, right? Sometimes.
A lot.
Sometimes, I'll tell you what happens. Sometimes, like, you get white people that go to the hood and they see people and they go, this shit's fuck. These people fucking suck. They suck. And then they look around and you see a little while later, kid ends up going to jail and they go, look, I told you he wasn't shit. And the question is, does that validate the preconceived notion that they had about the kid because the kid ends up getting in trouble? I'm saying what you did with Parker Livingstone was racism, not reverse racism, because I don't believe in the standard of racism being black to white. I believe in the standard of racism being judging someone based upon characteristics that are phenotypical, that don't really have much to do with what we know about them. You looked at him, you made a decision.
I looked at
I
him.
can't wait for his revenge tour.
With my football acumen,
He's
with my
having
football
200
knowledge
yards
and experience
against
and
Texas,
acumen,
for
I
sure.
looked at the kid and I was like, he's okay.
You looked at him. You made.
I looked at him, and that's what I said. I was like,
"That's
"That's okay." You didn't hear me say
and
about
look,
Hunter Renfro.
And you no Hunter Renfro cooking motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you didn't hear me say
Billy
about
said
Tim
Joel didn't
Dwight,
have his glasses on.
about
when he was
Steve
watching.
Largent. I saw Chris Collinsworth when he used to play. I have respect Tim Smith, one of the Houston Oilers great receivers from the mid '80s. What
about Ricky Prohl?
White receiver, Ricky Prohl.
Ricky Prohl. What about the older Ed McCaffrey? What about Ed McCaffrey?
Ed McCaffrey.
People
That's
talk
right.
a lot about Christian McCaffrey.
Brian Finneran. You know,
Brian Finneran. Well, there's a lot of guys out there. What's the
What about
guy?
Adam Thielen?
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, modern.
you know,
man.
you brought up Matt Jones the other
Cooper
day.
Cup.
Cooper
Cup, the
We should have
Cupster.
gone there.
Eastern
That's a
Washington
Triple Crown
legend
winner.
up there.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
Parker Livingstone's
Redfield.
future.
You-
They just created another cup. His cup runneth over. They just created another cup. He gonna go crazy. I'm the biggest Parker Livingstone fan in the world. I don't want him to play for
Welker.
LSU, but I'm the biggest.
Why
Parker-
don't you want him in LSU?
No, I
what
don't want
happened?
that. I don't want that.
What
I
don't
do
you
him
want
to
about
play.
it?
I said I don't want it now. I said it. I said it. Man. I don't like so. I don't want him to play for LSU, but yeah. So Parker Livingstone is he's you were right, but I still think you made the decision because of L. White.
I mean, I think that's because you look through things. I mean, and we could probably. There's a lot of people on Reddit that would confirm that you look through things through race-colored glasses. You know what I'm saying? And I
a
was
lot of people
making.
on Reddit that would confirm. What are you talking about? Who said
Yeah,
that?
they would talk about you. You know what I'm saying? And your approach to race and being a victim and playing.
So
the
now
race
Joel
card.
likes
Oh,
Reddit.
Jesus Christ,
Last
the
week
victim
Joel
of-
was going after Reddit.
Actually,
Now he's
you know what's
teaming.
funny?
What I was doing, I was making an objective analysis of the receiver in front of me, and I was like,
I
I
remember
don't
you saying
see
is that
number
cracker
one.
can't run. Like, look, that's what I remember you saying. Look, actually, my next post on my Substack, by the way, you guys, my Substack is called "Fuck You If You Disagree." Everybody sign up for my Substack. My next post on Substack is going to be about why I'm obsessed with race. That's the next. That's the next post on my Substack.
I did appreciate the Marty Supreme read. That was nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I like that. I like that you're just not afraid to call it because there's a lot of groupthink that happens with like film, cinema these days.
Thank you, Tate.
And I appreciate
you.
that Van's not afraid to call it out.
Thank you. I'm gonna start going live on Substack. If anybody has a problem with things that I say on Higher Learning, which everyone does this week, I'm gonna start going live on.
Yeah,
Substack.
what happened on Higher Learning? I haven't listened yet. A lot of people upset.
We can do this. Well, I'm working on an article for the Ringer that's going to appear on the website tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
12 big questions for the CFP
that's what we already did.
semifinals.
12 big questions. It's no longer 12 teams. It's about college football's new world order. Okay, I haven't read it yet. I got to write about it tonight.
I like
There you
it.
go. Okay.
Yeah, look at that. Plugging stuff. Billy, can you hop in right now? We got some parting shots. I want to see if Billy has any parting shots on the way out.
Billy, I don't know why this. We've already been here for an hour and 48.
No, this is necessary, Joel. This is the last thing before the games are played. Billy, any parting shots? Any thoughts? Anything we missed we didn't cover today on the show?
No, I feel like we had a clean episode today. Joel was
Joel?
pretty good. Yeah. You met some celebrities, some real worlders out there.
Yeah, it was a good. I mean, I thought those were good stories.
Yeah,
I think they were great stories, Joe.
Thanks,
Muhammad especially. That was my favorite.
Why didn't you hire Coral the doula? You just said that you were like expecting to, and then you didn't.
I don't think that's. I don't want. Look, you can look at the reviews. What do people say about her? She never was actually our doula, so. You should, with any service, you should just check out the reviews that people have for them and see what they say. I don't.
Just a shot at this woman for no reason.
It seems like
Bro, what if she really legit comes to? She sounded lovely. Like I was like, okay, yeah, man. We would love to have you in our labor delivery room. Together working with us on how to learn to take care of a baby. Like she's a lovely person. And that's why I was kind of like, damn, I wanted to make sure my wife knew that I wasn't doing this because it was Coral.
It's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you read the reviews and what did they say?
I didn't read the reviews though.
Your wife did.
No.
So what the fuck are you saying? You just
I told you that I don't want to talk about. I told you I don't. We didn't need it. We ended up not needing a doula.
Second ago, though,
we ended up not needing a doula.
But you just said a second ago that the reviews. Why did you bring up the reviews?
Well, because I can look at the reviews, and if you guys want to know how Coral is as a doula, you can go online and look it up. I don't.
But you didn't.
You didn't do that,
right? Because we didn't need to.
Why?
Hold on for a second.
Because she didn't end up becoming our doula.
Joe,
you knew inherently.
You know that the way you phrased that and put that, it made it seem as if she had poor reviews as a doula, and that somebody would.
That was the
out
implication.
And that you guys found out. You realize that was.
No, you all are trying to get me to say that. What I'm saying is, I don't know. She ended. It didn't work out.
Why?
Because we didn't need a doula.
Why didn't y'all need a doula?
Because we didn't need one. As it turned out, we figured out we would just be able to do it ourselves.
Joel got his eyesight figured out, and they were like, "We're good." He got his glasses.
First of all, Billy's got glasses on too, so don't.
Yeah, Billy didn't. He does a shot at Billy for no reason. You got.
Billy,
I don't understand why y'all are. What's up? Again, I told you, at some point y'all gonna have to stand up, bro. I mean, what's up?
Is this back to the host?
Y'all are on that CFB shit. Yeah, that CFB Reddit shit, dog. I mean, y'all still,
You were going on a tour this week talking shit about Reddit CFB, huh?
I didn't want to talk about it, but because you tweeted about that shit. Why are y'all on Twitter, man? Y'all need to get on Twitter for real.
I'm on Threads and Twitter.
For real.
I thought that the thing with Reddit CFB was over. Is it still going on?
No, it's not going on.
They never followed Joel.
They did not follow.
Oh,
yeah. But they said they listened, which Joel said was a lie. Right, Joel? That's the update.
They listened to what? What did they say?
No, they said that they were a fan of you, and they
didn't say. They were like, oh, we would never. They made the joke that everybody else was making.
Yeah, they tried to be like
the college wrestling.
Yeah, they tried to do like some.
But that just tells you that they admire you, though.
Yeah, right.
I mean, whatever. Why? See, this is I'm not Reddit CFB. I don't bring this up. They're the ones that do this. That keep this going.
Your Reddit CFB is Coral, I think.
There was a whole. We don't have a lot of time. But I just want to let you guys know that before the show, we were going to have this whole fucking thing on Gloria Estefan, right?
Oh, we forgot about that.
You guys forgot about that shit
We'll save it for the
Y'all
live
too
show.
busy worrying about this.
Well,
Okay,
we got
for the
we got
live
lost
show,
in the
we
real
wanna talk
world.
guys about Gloria and Stefan, the Miami Sound Machine, the Miami Country Day High School, Miami Day High School from down there in Miami. We have to talk about all of that stuff on the live show. You guys, if you're in the chat on the live show and you hear us not talking about Gloria and Stefan, the Miami Sound Machine, and Miami Day High School down there, like remind us to talk about because we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Friday live show. Oh yeah, the live show is when Tate.
Friday, 7 Eastern time, and then 7 Pacific time. Sorry, 7:30 is when the game kicks off Eastern, and then 10 o'clock Eastern time. Very confusing with the kickoffs and the time zones, but there you go. So 7:30 kickoff, 10 p.m. is when Joel.
That was a long day.
I think that's the tease.
You and Billy gonna be at 10.
Joel, you gonna make it? Yeah.
I mean, that's a long day, bro. I'm trying to be in bed by 10 o'clock most nights, man.
So this is Friday night, Joel, 10 o'clock. I mean, that alone should be enough of a reason to be on the show. That's gonna be a good time. Joel's fired up.
I'll say something. I looked at the Spotify sports podcast rankings. I don't know if you guys looked at them.
I don't know.
Ringer Tailgate top 50.
Really?
Okay, climbing.
I did not know that. We had talked about that before the show too. About I don't care about how many listeners or views we have. I just don't want to know right now. So
Then why'd you ask?
Why?
well, I thought if you knew it off the top of your head, I was like, okay, I'll take that information. But then you're like, I don't know. I could look it up, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to know.
Just you want to concentrate on performance.
Well, we were
Just
told
be
this
good.
is
It's your
season.
job.
It's season 0. This is like when a coach goes to a new program and they're like, we got to strip it all down and then rebuild. It's not year 1; it's year 0. That's what we got going on.
We haven't even talked. We don't even know. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be silly when I say this. We don't have a plan for the offseason. Like nobody has been like, all right, so when the season is over, y'all gonna come back and do. Nobody has said that. So
Okay. All right, Joel.
reach out to everybody. Speak up for your podcast. Follow us. Share it. Whatever.
Right.
Like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raise the roof.
That's right.
There you have it. Ringer Tailgate. We will be live Friday night. Come hang out with us. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific time. We'll be live on YouTube. Joel will be fired up for it, and we will see you all then. And go like, subscribe, do everything for Ringer Tailgate. We'll see you on Friday. Must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 27 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.